hey, don't worry, check's in the mail from the government bailout. At least that's what they say. But in this video, I'm going to break down what's really behind the shiny bailout package, what you can expect, and who's really getting bailed out through this. So stay tuned. All right, welcome back. If you are new to the channel, my name is Mark Moss. I like to talk about making money, investing money, having overall success, especially in this new age that we're entering into. Now, if you like any of those topics, which I'm sure you do, make sure to click the like button right now, help the algorithm, help other people see the video, and also hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you're notified every time I put out a new video. All right, now I am talking about the bailout package, all right? The CV bailout package, you know what I'm talking about. The one that's a wrecking ball through the entire economy, has basically put everybody out of work, and basically the entire world, I guess, like hitting a brick wall, like a car hitting a brick wall at 100 miles an hour, from 100 to 0, boom. So the whole world shut down. Finally, we just got this bailout package approved, $2 trillion. $2 trillion. All right, now just to break that down, how much that is, in the United States, that's enough for $6,000 for every single person, man, woman, and child. $6,000 for every single person, $2 trillion. That's how big this is. But of course, you're not getting $6,000. You're not even getting anywhere close to $6,000. I hate to tell you that. Okay, but the economy, like I said, it's completely shut down. We have businesses shut down. I mean, there's no revenue coming in. No one could spend money even if they wanted to. And of course, when businesses don't have any revenue, they can't pay loans, they can't pay their debt, they can't pay their employees. Now employees can't work, and now employees can't pay their rent. They can't make their car payments, right? It's just a spiral. It's like a domino effect. Massive layoffs, and we've never seen anything like this in history. We've been through multiple depressions, multiple recessions, but we've never seen anything that happened like this fast. And what a drastic change. Just a month ago, unemployment numbers were amazing, and everyone knew the economy was cracking apart. But a month ago, the unemployment numbers, which is one of the key metrics that we look at for an economy, was its lowest level in like 50 years. It was at 3.5%, but now it's rising daily, weekly. As a matter of fact, they're projecting 2 million unemployment claims filed this week. You might be one of them. If so, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what kind of job you lost. I'd like to keep it. I'm trying to figure that out. But they're projecting as much as 10 million jobs lost in the next couple of weeks. 10 million jobs. Now, let me put this into perspective for you. You know, I like to go through history. The highest ever was 700,000 jobs lost, and that was in 1982. All right. Now, for a little bit more perspective, the great financial crash of 2008, the one that wrecked the entire global financial system, only lost 650,000 jobs. That's some perspective. 650,000. We're looking at 2 million filled this week, potentially up to 10 million jobs. 40% of people are out of work. Now, if they haven't been laid off yet, they probably will be. 40% are out of work. And like I said, this is not even counting contractors, self-employed people, small business owners, or anything like that. And of course, all the industries are crashing, pretty much anything. Airlines, of course, no one can travel. Cruise ships, who the heck would get on one of those things right now? Hotel rooms, again, no one's traveling. But then the financial system as well. Hedge funds are going out of business, oil companies, etc. They're all, falling apart. But never mind that, the Fed, the Federal Reserve, the central bank is here to save the day, right? Don't worry about it. They'll just print more money. They don't even have to print it anymore, right? Now it's just a computer. They hit the button, they add a couple more zeros, and they basically came out and said they have an unlimited amount. That's what they said. Unlimited amount of money that they can print, and they will stop at nothing. All the central banks across the world have basically said the same thing. So right now, $2 trillion is the bailout package. I think they've committed to $6 trillion, which will push the federal debt up to $10 trillion. Now, again, for some perspective, in 2008, before the crash, it was $880 billion. It wasn't even $1 trillion. It went from 880 to 2.2 in that 2008 crash. And they tell you, once we get past this, we'll figure it out. But they never did. That 2.2 never went down. As a matter of fact, supposedly we were in the greatest economy of all time, but it went from 2.2 up to 4.4. And now where are we at? We're going to be at 10 trillion here in the blink of an eye. And that's going to be nothing. I think we'll see 10, 20 trillion dollars. I think that's a lot more likely. But the question is, who gets the money? Are you going to get the money? And if so, how much? So let me break that down. So in this $2 trillion stimulus, think about it. Who needs the money? I mean, you need the money, right? You don't have work. How are you going to pay for food for your family? How are you going to pay your rent? How are you going to pay your car payment? The business owner, how are they going to pay their debt, et cetera? Well, what's your share? Out of the $2 trillion, you potentially could get up to $1,200 per adult. $1,200. Now, that's if you make $75,000 or less. Now, or $150 for a couple. Here's the thing, though. If you make over $75,000, you get less and less and less. If you make over $99,000 or $198 for a couple, you get the big zero. You get nothing. Now, for those of you that are making 50, 60 grand a year, you might go, yeah, right. Who cares? You make 100 grand. You don't need money. Well, think about that. Do you really? First of all, $75,000, that's an arbitrary number, right? If you live in middle America, Kansas, St. Louis, whatever, right? In some of those areas, you might have a house payment or a rent payment at $400 or $500. Well, where I live in Southern California or in New York City, you can't even rent a studio apartment for like less than $2,000. So the cost of living is so different that you can't just say $75,000. For $75,000, someone could live really, really well somewhere, or someone could be dirt broke somewhere. So it's an arbitrary number, first of all. And then why the cutoff? I mean, I get it, right? 100,000, it's a little bit more, but so what? All of a sudden you're instantly rich at $100,000. You don't have bills. At $100,000, you're supposed to have saved up a bunch of money. Now, of course, if you watch my videos for any amount of time, I constantly have pounded the table and told you that you should always have at least 3 months of living expenses saved up. I like to say at least 12 months. Of course, the more you make, the more runway you want to have, but always minimum of 3 months. The sad fact is, per studies that were done, CNBC even said 40% of Americans couldn't even come up with a $400 for an emergency expense. I mean, that's just crazy. And again, why the cutoff at $99,000? All of a sudden, $99,000, you're supposed to be so rich, you're supposed to have all this money, you didn't lose your job, you don't have car payments. It's pretty crazy. So I guess the way it works then is the super rich get the bailout, right? The hedge fund guys, the corporations, they get the bailout. And then the, poor people get the bailout, but everybody in between just gets the shaft. I guess that's how it is. And so the market is going to be bailed out. The market, the big corporations are going to be bailed out. And the question is, I have for everybody is, why should you care? Why do you care? The average American wants food, they want a house, they want to provide for their family. Hopefully they would want a little bit extra, maybe a little bit of entertainment once in a while. That's what they want, right? He cares about saving money for his family, providing for his family. He doesn't care about saving the market. Why does he care about saving an airline? Why do you care about saving an airline? Why do you care about saving a hedge fund, right? I don't know. The airlines spent $49 billion buying back their stock. Now, that's $49 billion that they could have spent into research and development. They could have improved their planes. That's $49 billion that they could have put in the bank to save for a rainy day, such as today. Instead, what were they doing? They were charging you $200 to change your stupid ticket that you could just do online. Why are they even charging that money? So they spent $49 billion, wasted $49 billion, bought their shares so their share prices could go up, which made the stocks more expensive for all of us. And of course, their CEOs got big bonuses, right? They got big bonuses. We got $200 ticket fees. Now, they spent the $49 billion on stock buybacks, and how much do they need now? Oh, the same amount, $50 billion to keep them afloat. And again, the question is, why do we care? Now, they tell you, well, it's to save your job. Well, if these companies go bankrupt, they're going to lose all the jobs. Well, the jobs are already lost right now. You don't even have a job, right? So they're going to give all this money to this company. They could just give it to you. Like I said, you already have a job. But here's the thing. They make it seem that if the airline or whatever business goes bankrupt, then there's no more jobs. But let's think about that for a second. So you're telling me that if an airline goes bankrupt, then there's just no planes flying anymore? I guess nobody travels anymore. Airlines went bankrupt. No, that's not how it happens. Companies go bankrupt all the time. And what happens is they get restructured. They have too much debt, just like any household. You take on too much debt and you don't have enough income. You file for bankruptcy, it wipes out the debt. Now you can start over without all that heavy weight on your back. Airlines the same way. The airlines obviously mismanaged their money. They took all their money and instead of saving it and investing it, they spent it on stock buybacks. That's now not worth anything because the stocks dropped 80%. So that money is destroyed. It's gone. They've completely mismanaged it. The CEOs are fired. They file for bankruptcy. They get rid of all that debt. All the people that gave them those loans, sorry, you lost your money. You made a bad investment. Learn from that. Be better next time. Now, guess what happens? The airline doesn't just go away. Somebody comes in, buys the airline, but now it's lean. It's got rid of all that debt. They can start over. All the same people will be working there. The planes will still be flying. But this time, instead of the people working for this debt-burdened company that's barely making a profit and can barely move, now everybody's working for a lean, light company that doesn't have debt, that can have economic growth, that can do good. Look, one of the laws of nature is pruning, right? Pruning is natural, right? You have like a rose bush and you prune it down to where it looks like you ruined it, but it grows back even better. Like all plants do that. And you need to cut the unproductive stuff. And as these corporations have gotten so big and they're just wasting all kinds of money and banks are just throwing money at them left and right, and none of them are managing it properly, and they need to start over. They need to be pruned. They go bankrupt. They get rid of the debt. They bring in new management, and they keep going. The only reason someone would be losing their jobs if that service or product was no longer needed anymore. But as long as people are going to need to be flying, there's going to be jobs in that industry. That's how it works, okay? So let them go bankrupt. Let them learn their lesson. Get rid of the debt. Let them start over. It's the only way they'll ever learn. All right, now I don't want to just pick on airlines here. Let's look at a couple other things. Now, out of all this money, they're spending $1.1 billion for the Peace Corps and diplomatic aid. So that's money going to basically foreign countries. I guess somehow they need to be bailed out now. So if you make over $99,000, you get zero. Sorry. But yeah, let's give $1.1 billion to foreign aid. Okay, sounds good. Or how about $100 million going to the Performing Arts Center that I've never been to and I'll probably never go to? Are you going to go to that Performing Arts Center? Is there a reason why you care if they get $100 million? And I could go on and on and on. All right, but listen, here's the thing. I know this is a little bit of a rant and I don't normally have these types of videos. I'm a little bit upset by this and I hope that you are too, okay? Listen, here's the irony of all this. They tell you that it's evil capitalism that caused this. They tell you that greedy corporations, greedy capitalism caused this, all right? And that the answer to this is more government. If we had more government, more regulations in place, we could prevent this from happening next time. That's the irony. But it's the government meddling that caused this. It's not capitalism. Look, the Fed has been printing fake money with artificial low rates and loaning it out to all their crony businesses. And through their policies, they force businesses to spend and borrow, not to save. They punish savers. They reward people that take on debt and spend money. And so basically the Fed policies, and I'm not going to get into it in this video, leave me a comment if you want to know more, but basically with the Fed policies, they force the companies to buy back their shares. Because if they just send that profit back to the shareholders, then there's a whole set of tax problems. But if they buy back their own shares and the shares go up in value, it's cap gains instead of income taxes. The Fed policies have created this. The big government, the Federal Reserve, the central bank, by artificially manipulating rates and printing money has caused this. And now it's the big government that's bailing them out with your money. Look, this is socialism. This is what they do is they privatize profits and socialize the losses. What does that mean? Well, when the companies make money, it's private. But when the losses come, it's your fault. They've socialized losses. So don't fall for that. It's this big government that caused this. So look, capitalism would let these businesses die. Capitalism let businesses that make bad decisions die so they can learn, so they can do better next time. So just remember this. come next election time. That's all. Like I said, I don't normally go on rants like this. I'm a little bit fired up about this right now, and you should be too. This is ridiculous, and I want you to remember this come next election time. Big government caused this. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with me? Leave me in the comments down below. I always love to hear your viewpoints. I try to reply to every single comment. And like always, leave me thumbs up on this video if you can. If you don't like the video, that's okay. Give me some thumbs down. But either way, I want to hear from you. Leave me in the comments down below, and I'll see you on the next video. To your success and your health. I'm out.